Hi there, and thanks so much for inviting me to be a part of your workshop today. You know, when we started this initiative a few years ago, we had no idea how wide it would spread. We just started one hand at a time, much the same as you did in your workshop today. But fast forward the clock a few years and we're down to 12,000 hands that we've already built and distributed. We're sprinting towards our goal of 20,000 hands by the end of the year 2020. And it's only through the good graces of people like yourself and the kindness of the companies that you work for that we're even able to dream of such ambitious targets. So I'm just so grateful. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. And allow me to help you to connect on a deeper level with the kind of difference that you've just made. Allow me to set the scene, first of all, of the kind of communities that we're working in. You know, there's still a stigma associated with disability in most parts of the world. People who grow up with a disability in the poorer parts of the world that we work in will often be taught at a very young age that they're worth just slightly less than you or I. They might go to great lengths to hide their disability. They might wear long-sleeved shirts and tuck them into their trouser pockets. They might wear gloves despite the tropical climates to make it look as if they've got two hands. They're being taught that they're worth slightly little. They're being taught that they should be invisible if possible, and they absolutely believe it. When we give a hand to someone that lives in that environment, we're giving them so much more than the physical gift of being able to grasp, irrespective of how transformative that physical gift might be. We're giving them a much better gift, and that gift is a gift of knowing, hopefully, that they're worth it, knowing that someone on the other side of the world loves them unconditionally, and that gift is just transformative for so many of the people that receive our hands. Let me tell you just one story that I think will really illustrate that. I met a lady in Bangalore, India in 2014, and that lady was a bit different to others. She wasn't even responding to the basic questions we were asking, and absolutely we had translators present. There was no real reason for her not to be responding, except that physically she was present, but emotionally she wasn't there. It was pretty clear in my eyes that she didn't want to be there, and her friend was answering all of her questions on her behalf. But we ploughed on. We were concerned for her well-being, but we thought the best thing we could do in that moment was to continue with our job to fit the hand and help her see the potential of it. It wasn't until we'd fitted the hand, we'd completed that process, and we were showing her how to do various things that she actually started crying as she was lifting a mug to her lips and putting it down for the first time with her new hand. We stopped and asked her, "Why are you crying?" She explained that she didn't want to be here, that her friend had dragged her along, and we kind of asked her, why didn't you want to be here? And she explained that her whole life she'd grown up being promised the world, going to different events and being disappointed. She kind of explained how so often charlatans would ask for money, would flee with that money and leave her worse off than what she came. So going to a camp like this, where you or I might think, well, there's nothing to lose, for her there's absolutely lots to lose, because normally there'd be a price tag associated with it. It's just so unique that people would go to an event or go to a fitting team and receive a gift 100% unconditionally with no price tag in the way that our hands are always gifted. So that was just so different and so foreign that she just didn't believe it. We pushed a bit further and we said, well, why did you lose a hand at such an early age? You said that you'd kind of been looking all your life. Why did you lose your hand when you were so young? She explained that when she was just 3 years old, her uncle and her father had gotten into a domestic dispute, and her uncle had chopped off her hand to get at the father. And it's such a confronting thing to hear. It's wrong on so many levels. It's so wrong to kind of see someone as a kind of vehicle for vengeance. It's so wrong to see someone as property, but absolutely in that moment, the uncle was seeing her as the most valuable property that the father had. We could debrief it infinitely, but the reason I tell you such a confronting and striking story is I've got no other way of helping you feel how profound this gift is that you've just made today. This woman had grown up her entire life believing that she was worth so little that her own family members would harm her in that way. And then she received a hand. She received that hand unconditionally from someone that she may never get to see on the other side of the world, and she received a clear, unequivocal message that she was worth it and she was loved, and she even saw the faces of those people that were kind enough to build the hand for her. I'm telling you, that woman left that event a different person than she arrived. She was a seamstress, so the physical gift of being able to grip and pull material through a sewing machine was absolutely something that she valued. But I can tell you emotionally, the transformation that she received when she received that hand was so much more profound than the physical gift. Please know that each and every hand that you've made today will make just as big an impact in the life of someone on the other side of the world. You may never get to meet them, you may never get to shake their hand, but please know that the gift that you've made has been every bit as profound as the one I just shared with you. In many ways, I think that the hands that we make in our conferences are the opening pages of a chapter of a story of transformation that we may never get to read, but just know that those stories wouldn't have been written if it wasn't for you. Thank you so much on behalf of everyone associated with our little initiative, but especially let me thank you today on behalf of each and every one of the recipients of the hands you made today. Thank you, thank you, thank you.